Hi, I'm Barry Sahajian. This video was called Cheap Guitar Pedals for Bass. Does it work? Let's find out. Before I get started, I'd like to ask that you might subscribe to my channel, help me keep this thing going. Hit the bell to be notified, comment, like, and you'd really be helping me out. I'd appreciate it. So let's get started on this. So what I'm talking about is I have 3 pedals I just bought quite a while ago, actually. I just never really got into them because I didn't really trust cheap pedals. I had been buying pedals $100, $150 a piece. All of a sudden I see these pedals for $29.95, little tiny things, and I'm saying, do they work? I mean, and they were getting, 4 and 5 stars reviews, so I figured it's time to check that out. So what I got was a Nano envelope, a Mooer rumble drive, which is an overdrive, and then I got a Mooer morpher, which is a distortion. So the whole idea of what I was looking for a sound where you have sort of a distortion or something like that, and then you put it through an envelope, and it kind of brightens it up, and that's one of my favorite sounds, to have that combination. So anyway, I have to refresh you on how my main pedal board is laid out. I have 2 amplifiers. You can't see them. There's one over there and one over there. This is a Hotkey HD25, and this is a GK with a 15-inch speaker in it. I don't know, I think it's a couple hundred watts. So that's my setup, and one of the beauties of this setup, I have my effects board into 2 sides. So as you know, if you've messed around with pedals, the order of the daisy chain that you use can really affect how the sound of your pedals sound. If one goes before the other, it sounds different than if it goes after it, and that's all kind of a matter of taste. There is some information online on a sequence that you should follow, but I've followed that sequence and it works for most of the time. But in this case, I have these 3 pedals right here. So I'm primarily going to be working with these 3 pedals, but I'm going to add some of these, and I have two envelopes on this main board up here, and there's another envelope. So we have 3 envelopes. So we're going to get the opportunity to check out how the Mooer envelope holds up, how the Mooer envelope compares to the Dr. Q from the 1970s analog pedal, and the Nano, which is also an Electro-Harmonix pedal that I was fashioned after the Dr. Q, but made digital. So we're going to check out the 3 of those. We're going to do combinations of the 3 cheapos and see what happens. I'm going to start out with my clean sound, which is clean and sort of mid-rangey and high end, so. Now you get an idea of the sound I use without any effects. Let's start adding effects. We'll start with the Nano envelope. Okay, here we go. So I played the whole range of the instrument, because sometimes an effect can sound muddy and terrible down here and beautiful up there. I like to have an effect that sounds good no matter where you play it on the neck. One of my thoughts was a guitar pedal used for bass. So I looked up a little information, and they say, well, a guitar pedal covers the range of a guitar, and a bass pedal covers the range of a bass. But bass is not the same as it used to be 50 years ago, when it was pretty much the same sound for everybody in the Motown days, and soul and rock, But now it's a bass sounds like a lot of things. Everyone plays tapping, slapping, you know. For instance, is that the low register? Not a chance. So this opens up new doors, I believe, because a guitar pedal can fit there real nice, you know. I mean, let's experiment here. The Donner pedal first. Okay. Not bad. I think that is not bad. And now I'm going to compare it to my favorite, which is the Dr. Q from the 1970s, which is an Electro-Harmonix, and it is analog. So the analog element adds a little warmth to the sound. Check it out. Okay, I shut off the Donner envelope. This is my favorite. You hear that warmth in there? I like that, you know. So let's go to my third envelope. I love envelopes, in case you didn't notice. What I have here on the third envelope is also an Electro-Harmonix, and it's called the Nano. And that technically, as I understand, is a digital version of the Electro-Harmonix Dr. Q. Let's check that out. It's a little far away. I got to reach for it, you know. Okay, here we go. The Nano. So, you know, it does sound similar to the Dr. Q, but I still favor the Dr. Q. And one of my tests I use when I'm testing out an envelope is where the Q comes in. And that would be like, how I do it is I hit a dead note, and then I keep increasing my attack, making it a little more of an attack, and see where the Q comes in, like this, for instance. One of my favorite things to do when I was, you know, one of my favorite things to do when I was playing out was to almost try to sound like a conga drum using that effect, like. Anyway, to prove a point, I like that Nano. I mean, if I can do that I can get the cue to happen with my right hand. Of course, it takes an adjustment to the main adjustment to make that happen to your own preference. But let's compare that with since we're talking about this, we'll go back to the Dr. Q and see how that sounds. Yeah, sure. In my opinion, the Dr. Q Electro-Harmonix wins the prize. So, okay, let's move on to some other things. Well, let's go back to the three cheapos I have. Once again, we have the envelope, the Donner envelope. We have the Mooer rumble drive, which is an overdrive, and we have the Donner, and we have the Donner Morpher. So, and that was the distortion. So 2 Moors and a Donner. Okay, so let's go. I have to go back to the sequence of your daisy chain. Now, we're going to take this and isolate this. This is my daisy chain, even though it's going through my main effects board, which is two-sided and all of that stuff. So what I found was, in my research and looking around in my own experience, they say sometimes put the envelope at the beginning and sometimes at the end. And you know, my preference was to put them the envelope at the end, because if you put a distortion, if you put the envelope before the distortion, it doesn't sound as good. The distortion sort of dominates, and the envelope is kind of in the background in the mix. But if you do it the opposite way and you put the distortion or the overdrive before the envelope kind of brightens the distortion sound up, and you get this nice blend. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So we're going to try, first we're going to do the rumble overdrive here. And we'll turn that on, and then we turn the envelope. So let's see how that sounds. You hear that's got the growl, you know? If I play softly, once again with the right hand technique, you kind of only hear the overdrive. If you dig in a little deeper, have a robust attack, then you could add the envelope just with your right hand, just with the technique of your right hand. So I like that, you know. So you know, you don't even have to have a pedal. I mean, one of those control pedals to do that. You're going to do it all with your right hand. Of course, it takes a little bit of control. So I'm happy with that sound. Let's try. Now I'm going to put the Donner Morpher, which is a distortion pedal, and that goes. So what we're doing here is we're going into the distortion and then through the envelope. So this is going to be, I've already tried it, of course. It's going to have a bigger growl, you know. So let's go for that. If that's your thing, it's pretty much not what I would normally play, but you never know in any circumstance if I'm looking for a new sound. And let's see how we give it the big overdrive and hit a power chord. Suppose it has its place. I like it. So now, you know what I discovered? I got to tell you about this, which kind of made me excited, I think. So, as I told you, I got 3 envelopes. I got this one, the Mooer. I got the Dr. Q analogue from 100 years ago, and I got the Nano. Watch what happens when I use more than one envelope. This is interesting, in my opinion. So, you know what the Donner sounds like. Not bad. refresher how that sounds. So let's add Dr. Q, Electro-Harmonix from 1970. You notice it has this click type sound, this little bleep, a high-pitched bleep, you know, like that's even more accentuated because you're using two of them. So that's nice if you really want a real cutting edge. I like that. Now check this out. Here's one thing I discovered is when you're using harmonics, watch out. It really boosts everything because as you can hear on that other example, you know, you were getting this real high-pitched, abrupt attack. So we're going to go. James Brown, remember that? That's a ninth chord, by the way. Root, third, fifth, flat, 7, 9. He feels good. So back. We're going to get rid of all the envelopes and we're going to try something different now. So we got these, we haven't tried all three of the cheapos yet. So let's see what happens when I do that. So we got the Donner envelope, we got the Mooer Rumble Overdrive, and we have the Donner Distortion, Morpher, they call it. Now this is going to be... Not bad if that's your thing. It's not mine. I mean, but you never know. When I get in a right mood, I might play something like that with using that tone. But it gives you the option. So all in all, I think these are worth it. I paid $29.95 for each of these, and I am not endorsing them. I just bought them because they're cheap. I wasn't really sure they would work well for bass. You be the judge. Drop me a comment. What do you think? Would you use these? Would they work in your situation? Because I'll tell you, these effects are expensive. I paid a couple of $100 for this compression pedal, the multi-comp, and the digital delay was about $100. That would be a Boss digital delay, and the Electro-Harmonix octave multiplex. I don't think I've tried that yet. Let me show you what that can do. If I add that to my cheapos, we can get a little more bottom happening. Say we'll go with the Donner again. So let's add the octave multiplexer, Electro-Harmonix, and we can see what goes. Adds a little bottom to it, which is nice, if that's what you need, you know. Nice and clean, and you get that little high-pitched pop cue on it, and it's nice. I love it. I love that. Okay, so since we're here, why don't we throw a rumble drive on there, you know, overdrive to it, see what happens. I think this will work good in this blend. I like it, not bad. Tell me what you think. So that would be Envelope, Mooer Overdrive, and Octave Multiplexer by Electro-Harmonix. So you got the Mooer Envelope once again, and we have the Mooer Overdrive, and you got the Electro-Harmonix Octave Multiplexer, or something like that. I don't know. I guess I might have got that wrong. So let's. That's pretty good. When we try, I'm going to keep that multiplexer with the octave on there, and I'm eliminating the overdrive. I'm going to try distortion, envelope, and octave. Not bad. We're doing well for $100 in pedals. I could survive with just those 3 pedals if I just wanted to make some different sounds. But since I have all these other things, I haven't really added the digital delay to this. We'll see what happens with that. As far as where it is in the daisy chain thing, which order, I don't know if it works. Not bad. That works good too. Let's get rid of the digital delay. Well, I think that's about it. You get the idea. I think it's worth it to buy these cheap pedals and put them in the mix somewhere. And especially if you're on a low budget, it's not a bad idea. They work very well with bass, as you can see. I'm not so sure how they'd work if you're the type of, if your basic sound is with a big, you know, a booming type, low frequency type thing, then you might have a problem in these, because maybe that's where the frequency thing makes sense, because these are guitar and they're up a little higher. But like I said, most bass players don't dwell all down in the lower frequencies. It's they're all over the place, you know, with the tapping, the slapping, which you know. That doesn't work too bad with the octave, the distortion, and the envelope. That was a pretty good sound. So anyway, I hope to see you again. I hope to get something out of this. And if you like, or you know, let me know your favorite sound that I used, and ask me a question, comment. And I thank you for stopping by. Drop by again. Real soon we'll have another video for you. So long.